armed conflict between 1851 and 1856, which led to epidemics, starvation, the burning of villages, and displacement. In 1853, the first of several treaties were signed between the American federal government, these tribes, and others. These treaties ceded most of their homelands to the United States, and in return, they were guaranteed a permanent homeland. At the end of the Rogue River Wars in 1856, these tribes and many other tribes from Western Oregon were removed to the Siletz Reservation and the Grand Ronde Reservation. Many died during a forced march known as Oregon's Trail of Tears, and their homelands were lost. Today, despite these and other atrocities committed against them, Native communities remain committed to leaving the world better than they found it. As we recognize and honor these lands where we live and learn, we express support for the resilience and strength that all Indigenous people have shown worldwide.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any additions to today's agenda?
Potentially.
Okay.
I'd like to know what everybody thinks about adding it. Kayla just today emailed me
The meeting agenda.
I second.
Everybody in favor? And did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes from the March 2nd board meeting? Did we all check them out? Okay. So can we approve those minutes from the March 2nd board meeting?
I would motion to approve the March 2nd board meeting minutes.
I'll second approving the minutes.
Okay, all in favor? All right. We've got another one of these to do. Everybody checked out the March 30th executive meeting minutes? Yes? Yes?
Yep.
Okay, I'll motion to approve those minutes. I read them, they were good.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay. Are we in favor?
All in favor? Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, look at us, smiling through this. Do we have any public comments?
I have not received any.
Okay, nobody, all right. The public is very quiet. So then we're gonna move on to reports. We've got the financial report up first. Kelly, is that you?
That's me.
That's right.
Yeah. Hi, friends.
Okay.
I am passing around our statement of activity. I like to begin by looking at our bank balances. If you look at the backside at the bottom, you'll see our balances as of April 1st. 33,266 in checking, 146,707 in savings. You get one? Sorry, I messed it there.
Oh.
Didn't take it down.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I got it.
I'm doing
9 things.
And a total of 179,973 in the bank. So we are in a nice financial position still. This is typical as in most months. You'll see this is for February. Since we have our meeting so early in the month, it's hard to get everything done. So we're kind of a month behind. You'll see our income total from our state fund is the 56,000 there. We've also received a grant from Youthline. That's something that Melissa got for some PE equipment, 1,400 there. You'll also see reimbursement, the 7,492 from our SIA from Three Rivers. That's for mental health support for our students. So grand total there is the $64,932. And then you see our expenditures for February. One of our biggest costs, of course, is the teacher salaries. You see that there, line 100, 1280, 111. Scrolling down, also staff development, we have a small amount there. Then you see under support services, 2490 is our office manager, fiscal services, rental, paying rents. The 2560 is for 2500 for our space right here, as well as 60 because we do rent a storage space from self-storage. On the backside, you can see at the top is our utilities, electricity, garbage. Let's see, some student transportation when we go on field trips. We pay an amount to the district. Food prep is a larger area. You can see that one. Well, 5,374 for our lunches, breakfast, and also the staff payroll for that. Yeah, let's see. All the way down, we get to our net operating revenue for the month is negative $2,400. That means that we did spend approximately $2,400 more than we took in for the month, which is pretty close. We're kind of on target there. Any questions about our expenses?
I was just thinking, since you have electricity and garbage and, there's your postal fee. So where do you get your mail?
We get it from the U.S. Postal Service.
It delivers it here?
So we have a PO box,
Oh,
so we pay for that, but we do get some here. We have a mailbox on the street. So it depends for some places that don't want to deliver to a PO box, but mostly we get it at the postal office. I go in on Mondays and check the mail, and Kayla goes in on Wednesday or Thursday and checks the mail. And there it is. Any other questions about our statement of activity for the month of February?
Is that liability insurance, that's for us and also for, Ivy News, is that right, or is that a separate?
So we, at last week's meeting, just worked out the deal with, essentially at the moment, they are kind of under our program.
Yeah.
But our liability was we already had enough liability, so there shouldn't be.
So to cover them also, right?
They have their own,
Oh, okay.
so I could double check.
Just curious.
I think they do
I
carry
do
their own.
remember them saying that. They have their own. We're
Yeah.
just obligated to have like a
Right, we had everything. Right, so there's no shift in insurance, we were good as we were. Oh, that's what I think.
Next, I want to share a revenue, pardon me, by donor summary. Let me first pass this out. I don't have one for everyone, if you can maybe share it with the next year. And so this is something that Don Worley put together. He is supporting us as a bookkeeper and helping to take a lot of the work off my shoulders, so I'm really appreciative of that. And this is an interesting thing. We are starting to have more grants in different areas and also different areas where we want to spend, such as our senior trip. And so what this is kind of breaking down those funds, like, okay, this is what we've taken in from certain grants, this is what we've taken in for the seniors, this is, and so it kind of helps to I think break it down a little bit into where money's coming from and where it's going towards. And this is for the fiscal year. So this is from July through now.
Okay.
And you'll see we've got some funds coming in from IBCDO there, some donations, Three Rivers School District, that's a big chunk of our income. And so that's for the general fund. So the under 100, those are things that are effectively unrestricted. That means we can kind of use the money for it. Below that though, if you look at those other ones, the PCSD, the youth lines, the programs, these are ones where there's kind of a specific purpose. So we kind of have to categorize the expenses within that purpose. So for example, senior programs fund, we've taken in so far this year over $2,500. But because that's for a senior trip that hasn't happened yet, you'll see the expenses for that is zero.
Right.
If you look at high school success, that is a grant we received from Three Rivers to help cover our Project Youth Plus program. And so you can see our income there and our expenses is exactly the same, so net income is 0. So we've taken in funding for that specific purpose, and then we have paid all of that money out for that specific purpose. And so, this kind of helps us see, okay, where, Title I, this is how much we received and how much expenses. And some of those, like with the Title I, you'll see that the expenses is higher. What that is due to, we will get that extra expense. It just hasn't come in yet because it's reimbursement. So we haven't received that as of yet, but that should come in. You can see like the youth line, $1,400 grant, and it's all been spent. Expenses. The interesting one you might notice is line 201, CSP grant. It says 0 income, but 56,000 in expenses, and that's weird, right? What that means though is we drew down last fiscal year. So this is from starting in July. So if we pull out money in June,
Right.
and then we spend it in July because we received that, then it shows up as not an income in this fiscal year, but the expenses are in this year.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the weird things with money is where we get money sometimes in one year, we spend it in another year. It doesn't mean we're as terrible off as that looks, because money came in at some point. It just was not in this fiscal year. So, any questions on this?
Thank you for putting that together.
Ryan, I do have one question, sorry. On the senior program one, are we waiting until everything has been done? Because technically, I do believe that the school, out of the school fund, has paid the deposit for the space.
Okay. I think at the moment it probably, maybe when it was paid, maybe it wasn't clear on the receipts and bond when he categorized it, and it might go into a different category. So we could so if you could just shoot me an email at some point and say, hey, this was actually for this fund.
Absolutely.
And then I'll let Don know and we'll
Absolutely.
move that.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, audit update?
Do we have a?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
That's me.
That's still you.
Hi, friends. We still have not received our audits. At one point, I think I mentioned this to you at our meeting last week. I did reach out to the owner of the company, have CC'd them on a thing saying, hey, and then he replied within a minute. I was like, all right, we're gonna take care of this. And that was a couple weeks ago. And since then, I did get another request for information, another thing saying, oh, here's one more thing that we need. And I replied within a day or two, I think, of, okay, here it is. And so at the moment, it's still waiting. I will reach out again very soon. We did receive something from the state of Oregon saying, hey, where's your audit? So I'm going to forward that to the auditors and say, hey, we're receiving these things saying we're not meeting our deadlines. Can you please help us? Or, I don't know that there's that many different auditing firms that will cover charter schools. So we might have to work with them. But, if we're doing this thing last summer and it's April, to me, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
On that, so, that's my audit update.
Great, thank you very much.
Would you get fined if it doesn't?
Probably not.
Okay. Community and culture. Does someone have an enrollment update?
Yeah, I have it pulled up right here. We currently have 59 students enrolled out of 64 spaces open. There are 3 spaces. Well, I mean, technically there's 5 spaces open in the freshman class. I don't know why 2 of them are grayed out. There's 1 open in sophomore class and a space in the senior class, but our junior class has 1, 2, 3, 4 additional students, so that's balancing some of those out a little. We do have, let me look at the one for next year, because I heard Kayla talking. So right now we have 53 total students enrolled for next year. Senior class completely full. Junior class has 1 space, probably 2 spaces. 10th grade still has 16 to 12, 1, 2, 3, 5 spaces open. And there are only 6 students so far enrolled in the freshman class. That's pretty typical. Looking forward to graduation in June. Oops, that was wrong. Looking forward to graduation in June. We're gonna have quite a large graduation.
Have we?
How many did you say we have open for sophomores?
For next year or right now?
For next year.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, don't say.
We have 5 open?
Yes.
Okay.
5 for
And then
sophomores.
10, and
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and freshmen. So 10 freshmen, 5 sophomore, and a junior spot. Like for the classes to be full,
Yeah.
not for full enrollment. Full enrollment, there will just be like 10 people. 11. We can have 11.
And I'll, if I can interject,
No, yeah, of course.
we did not have to hold a lottery this year. We did last year because we had more interest than we had positions. This year we have not, we did not have to do that. So the good news is everyone who has wanted to be here for 9th, 10th, or 11th grade for next year has been admitted. We do have a wait list for 12th grade. But the bad news is we did not have so much interest for next year that we needed to hold the wait list.
Yeah.
11 spots open at the moment, so we do need to do maybe a little more advertising.
And then also, Coco and I, what is it, not next weekend, but the weekend after, that April 18th, Coco and I are gonna go table at the Options in Education Expo in Grants Pass. And so I know that we got a couple students from there last year, I think we'll get a couple more.
It may be smart to see about having a table at the farmer's market.
I mean,
Both as a fundraising opportunity and as a way to kind of like put the word out there. My sister-in-law wants to give me a bunch of kombucha stogies. You can sell those for like $6 a piece, and like the kids want to do buttons, and we're about to have, segue into community connections since it's farmer's market. We're gonna have an artist from the guild, his name's Mark, come in, starting this month, till the end of the year, teaching the students in mixed media printmaking. So also a possibility for farmer's market booths, like putting prints on stuff. Yeah. We could have blank t-shirts or totes or
patches.
hats, making patches. You can be like, what do you want? And then have them just print them right there or something. And then, so Mark from the Guild Community, that's it for enrollment. But with community connections, I've made this really cool connection with this woman named Donna Scoggins. She's a fused glass artist out of Grants Pass. She has donated like boxes of these really nice glass tiles that I want to do some mosaic work with students. She's donated a bunch of painting and printmaking supplies. She gave me a huge stack of canvases that can be reprimed, and she's gonna continue to reach out to me to donate more things because her husband died, and she's also setting up an art studio in Grants Pass. That when she gets it all set up, she wants me to bring the students, for a field trip. So that's a really cool. Her name's Donna. I want to say Coggins or Scoggins. I could check my Facebook right now, but that feels inappropriate. So
I'll just put them here,
yeah.
Cool.
And any more community connections? The punk show, May 30th is coming up. The free one at Jubilee Park,
May 30th.
Students are looking forward to doing some DIY fashion things for that, and I've been trying to convince some of the students to perform what they are
Yeah.
skating.
It'd be fun to do like bleach.
Yeah, bleach dyeing.
Sun dye. you know?
Yeah, all like sun prints.
I've got a bunch of doilies, like my grandmother's doilies at home, you can bring in and use, and you spray around it and then it imprints the pattern out.
Yeah.
We can make stencils too.
Yeah, stencils are a really great idea. Yeah, and I have black lights too. I mean, this isn't the punk show, but like if you use a UV light, you can like do it more directly and
Oh,
it's
sure.
really more controlled. I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's as far as our community connections. We have an SAT coming up where we have like 5 students of ours.
Our students.
Yeah, having to take the SAT.
Then this is the first two.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So that's really exciting. Oh yeah, Mark is teaching printmaking so that we can get the vending machine up and running. There's a vending machine in the hallway. It's gonna be an art vending machine.
Yes.
We got a grant for that through the guild. We were awarded $1,500 for that particular project.
That's really cool. When we
Yeah.
get that up and running, we should put an ad in the paper.
We will, there's gonna be I believe there's gonna be like an unveiling party, right, Ryan? It
That's the
sounds
plan,
like, yeah,
yeah.
there's gonna be an unveiling party. And it'll either be at Taylor's, the vending machine, or at the Guild building.
Okay.
I don't think that is set in stone yet. So.
Taylor's would be a great spot.
Yeah, more people stop.
Yeah.
And then, so that is coming up. I think a student may have opened the vending machine today. So hopefully we can close it again, because there's not a key for it. So I don't really know how they got it open.
Ingenuity.
Ingenuity, yes. So maybe they'll help us fix it.
There you go. That's the thing.
That's it.
That's that. That's the
What time is the crowd at Julie Park?
I actually don't know. I think it's all day because it's like a free punk show. There'll be Food Not Moms will be there.
Is it the Punk Rock Saves Lives group?
I don't know. Perhaps.
They're kind of a grassroots.
Yes,
or-
not the barter fair crew who's
No.
also doing the skate thing the next week. Yeah, it's like just grassroots, free everything. They don't want anything to cost money.
Maybe it might be in the Tony Alves' newspaper.
It is.
Yeah. One of our students won they did a flyer contest for the punk show and I think Sage won. Were you a part? Oh, okay, well, I should have asked Coco, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure Sage won, because she drew a silly goose, punk rock goose.
Oh, I did like that
On a
one.
skateboard.
That was cute.
That's cute. That's cute.
Nice.
Community connection.
Oh,
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna stick to student reports, since there's no students to report.
Staff reports.
So staff reports are next.
Well, that's the new business thing at the end. I was just gonna do, is that not a staff
What's that?
report? The cleaning position thing, just to update that, like Amanda's
Yeah,
filling in
we
on
can-
Tuesdays.
We can talk about that now.
Okay, great. Yeah, Amanda's filling in on Tuesdays. It's, Melissa did the math and I guess it's like less than what a community teacher, since she's cleaning just the one day. It's less than what a community teacher makes in a week, so there shouldn't be like conflict or something.
Yeah.
Sam's on board. I don't know, it's just something I was told to bring up.
Yeah,
And then,
I just wanted to bring up the transparency.
Yeah, just for transparency purposes.
And if anybody thinks that it's a conflict, please speak up, because I don't want
Conflict is.
I don't-
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
it
so.
is, no, I don't see it that way.
Yeah, no. I mean, Mindy teaches a whole
Yeah.
entire class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're fine. I think it's just like telling you, because just so everyone knows.
Yeah.
Christy's doing the other days and building looks great. Thank you so much.
Yay.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Another staff report. I don't really know. Nobody has told me anything to report.
Casey and I did get to Washington DC the week before spring break, to meet with the charter schools program, a federal charter schools program that gave us that $250,000 grant. or at least chunks of it. So we were in sessions for several days, and a lot of information that would have been really helpful at the start of our 3 year. But you know, it was good to put names with faces. Some of the people that we, we've been emailing with for a couple of years, we were able to meet in person. And then it ended, and it was spring break, so she and I were able to hang out for a few days and enjoy DC.
That's cool.
Anything to report, Sarah? No? Great.
Okay, fundraising committee report. We've been fundraising. We've got a big.
You're doing great.
And we're doing great, and we've got a big event at the Replay on Sunday the 12th. We're doing the Chinese dinner. Mindy and I were up planting, and Kelly hopes too. We're gonna do the plant sale. There are some grocery bagging Saturday coming up. So, there's stuff happening.
Yeah, I think the bagging is actually the Saturday before the dinner.
I think so, yeah, same weekend. So that'll be a busy weekend. So, we're moving forward, we're doing stuff.
Can I add something?
Yes.
We can mention this at the annual meeting, but since there's not a May meeting, it might be a good time to mention that our Camps for Kids Saturdays are May 23rd and May 30th.
May 23rd and 30th.
Yep, 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, okay, that's.
Get them out of the way for the whole year.
I would suggest
And then we're
everyone
definitely
to remind their friends.
Yeah.
And they moved.
Right.
They
Oh,
are,
yeah.
they're down where the saw shop used to be.
Oh, okay.
So just south of town.
At the new IVs.
At the new Ivy Camp
Okay.
Gym, so they're not behind Chevron anymore.
That's amazing.
So that's another thing to tell people, because I think most people don't
They're
know
just
that.
used to the routine. of
Yeah,
being
so
there.
I mean, this is a great easy fundraiser for us. I think if we can all just remind our friends and family.
There's no potholes.
Yeah, it will be easier to drop off. Yeah, cool, thank you for that. Because I actually was wondering about when that was, and I had this.
Me too.
We talked about the plant sale, we talked about the inventory, we talked about the.
And then I see here the Dome School Folk Fair. I know they're having it, so this is a fundraising opportunity.
Yep. I put this on here, and just wondered where everybody was at, energy wise. By the time this rolls around, Gracie is gonna be deep in Oregon Country Fair prep.
Yeah, I can't.
And so it's not a thing that she would take on. I'm down to take it on if we have any ideas about, what we'd like to do there. And I don't know, like, if we have enough, it also might be a nice place to be, talking to people casually about Dome School kids.
Yeah.
Or, to kill the kids.
Yeah.
And I did forward the flyer for it. The booth is only like $25 fee. And so I thought if we had like KCA gear, or if we had art or if the kids wanted to donate art projects, that we could have an art sale. That is
June?
no, it's not that soon. It's in June.
Felt like it was in June.
Yeah, I think it's in
So
summer.
it's out of mind.
I think there's something going on there with April 19th.
I
There
cannot.
might be a birthday,
Oh, probably.
birthday, don't school.
Birthday cabaret?
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
it's
that
a-
would be a good place for a
It's
table
winter
to talk
summer.
about. I mean, and I don't know if the kids have leftover stuff from crops.
June
That
13th.
could go onto that table.
June 13th.
June 13th is the day of the folk fair. And I did forward I actually forwarded the flyer to Drake and Zach, because they had just set up their like vintage clothing booth up at the Medford Center.
They were so cute.
I sent it to them with the, like,
They're
with
taking
the
that.
potential idea that we could like table that with them.
Yeah, you can share.
And so that's all. We don't have to decide or anything. I just kind of wanted to put it on anybody's radar.
And again,
If
the
they
printing,
had any ideas,
printing.
and if everybody's energy is saying, I'm not gonna be able to do that right then, totally fine too. I just wanted to put it on everybody's radar.
I definitely won't.
I've never gone to OCF and I was considering it this year, so I don't
Well,
wanna.
that's not until July. I'm just busy.
Yeah,
She's
she's just making everything.
I just.
Yeah, my new parents were telling me about it, they were like, it could be helpful.
Yeah, get a job, it's a really fun group to work for.
Yeah, I don't know if I have passes this year, but I often do. And
If you have an extra one,
Yeah.
I've never been.
You would wanna do your first one without your children,
Yes.
just to.
That was exactly my thought.
That's what she.
Yeah. Well, that was exactly. I could be like, I'm working, so they can't come with me.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll fly, because they're in their kids, but I would highly recommend doing that without littles for the first time, just so you get the lay of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we'll talk about that later.
So I could be interested to help with that, or the June
14th,
folk fair, June
13th.
Because what I'm doing, I have 600 books and kids' books that I've collected for 36 years, right? Literally. And and so I'm gonna go to Earth Day at the Dome School, and then perhaps I could still go to June 13th.
Okay.
For the folk fair, and I could have a couple different tables going,
Okay.
I guess. I would just need lots
Or
of
we could
directions.
coordinate, you know. I'm not opposed to tabling either.
Yeah.
I just don't wanna go table if we have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Okay.
Great.
We'll talk about that again, maybe at the next meeting.
Yeah.
End of the month.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to old business. First on our list is the grievance policy.
And so, I didn't print out copies for everybody. There was really only like a couple minor edits, where, for instance, on our procedures, instead of, having emails emailed to the office, we were gonna create a grievance email. And so I changed that language. And then the only other thing, was that, we could just pass that around, I think it's pretty straightforward. Is that, I took the Three Rivers, complaint form and sort of used it as a template to make it our complaint. So I asked questions specifically for like an alternate, like some of the things that we talked about, an alternate teacher, if your student's person is who the grievance is with, who is another teacher that they would be comfortable with us consulting, mediating with. Have you taken any steps towards mediation yet? How did that go? Or what were the results of that? And stuff like that. And so it's pretty straightforward. Right now it's just a Word doc. But I think that I actually made a Word doc that I could probably paste into the website pretty easily. And so those are the only changes. I have this here if anybody would like to read through it, but I really think that
I think
they were really
minor
minor
edits, right?
edits.
So then we want to vote
And
to
so
approve
it
this.
was the form really was the big thing that we held off on approving it last month because I didn't have the form to go with it done. And so yes, that's,
Okay,
my goal is that if everybody feels all right with it, that we
let's
can.
let everybody know the form and then we'll decide.
So, when it says if grievance is against student's person, please list an alternate teacher to be consulted and or used for mediation. Typically, from my experience with conflict resolution, you don't let either party pick
Okay.
who mediates because then it's not objective. So there needs to be like an established.
So maybe instead of used or mediated, because the point of that is not necessarily that teacher that they list will then be the mediation person. It's the initial contact point person. Because normally if the student's person was not the source of the complaint or the grievance, then that's who the complaint would go to first, is their person. And so in the case, and so I can change the wording on that. I'm happy to change the wording on that to say first point of contact, if that feels more comfortable.
I don't know, I'm not sure that that's a necessary part. Because if it lists like who the grievance is about or something, and they say, oh, so-and-so, then we recognize that it's their person, like if instead of like, if the grievance is about the student's person, just have them list the student's person, and then specify what the grievance is, and if we notice that those are the same thing, then like administration would then choose an objective mediator that way. In my experience previously, like at the Dome School, and I needed to have conflict resolution with a mediated person, it was the board of directors who mediated but it was between two staff members.
Sure.
So that's
Sure.
like specific.
Sure.
And again, we didn't get to pick who it was.
Right, and I don't know if we have, I don't know, I guess the other thing is that I don't know whether we established in the last meeting, who the grievance email is then directed to.
Right.
Because the whole idea, I guess, of enlisting a secondary teacher is that, like, if it were to come to the board or Kayla, you know, then there's no question for her to make. You either direct it to this person, or if the complaint's about this person, then you direct it to this person. You know, because I think somebody else should be getting it before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Are we trying to keep the person who had, like, say someone files grievance against me, since we've had.
I mean, at the same time, I think that, like, I mean, you.
Shouldn't I know?
Well, I think that, and I don't think that there's a way that a grievance would be made without you knowing that anyway, because the first step in the grievance policy
It's to have the grievance.
is to try and address it first.
Right, conflict resolution, be adults about it, right? Yeah.
So I don't think that I can't imagine there being a situation, but that's not necessarily means that it won't happen.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure that it's not communicating like that someone might assume that they have a say in who mediates the conversation, that's all.
Right, I see what you're saying. And so, do you feel like initial point of contact, or do you feel like that's still an unnecessary step, and we can remove that and make the judgment call reading through? I guess my thought on it was that if it was something that was gonna go to Kayla, that then she doesn't have to read through and being aware of potentially sensitive information that she doesn't need to be aware of.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, I don't really think that it needs to go through Kayla at all, for the most part, especially a grievance, like, what makes the most sense to me would be maybe that it goes to all the teacher leaders, all at the same time. And then we like delegate what would be, like, should it just get immediately sent to the board? Can we handle it like as administrators, if it's not one of us, right?
Okay.
Like,
I think from the perspective of student filing agreements, having a little note in here that says, because they have to write your person, and if the person is the one who they have a grievance with, that makes them more hesitant to submit that form if they believe that it's just gonna go straight to their person who they have a grievance with. And so like maybe just a little footnote that says like, if this is the person you have a grievance with, it will.
Like right after the who is your person, I could put in parentheses, please be aware that if your grievance is against your student's person, it
Or
will be
even just a note about where the form goes, like
Okay.
this form goes to all teacher leaders or something.
Okay,
Maybe just, it goes to all teachers.
Yeah.
okay,
And then it's just the grievance will be dealt with.
Just so the student is not under the impression that they're filing a grievance against this person and it's just going straight to that person.
sure,
yeah,
yeah.
So would it be helpful to put kind of, for the student's sake, the steps that would happen? Like,
that would be that's probably something we would add to like the handbook. Where it's like grievance procedure, and grievance policy, because there's a section in the handbook about the grievance policy, but with a procedure implemented, then we can put the steps in the handbook and then have them like sign and say that they read it. I mean, they don't, but
They won't.
they'll sign it though and say that they did, and then be so surprised. Yeah. And then similarly, like say for Title IX kind of thing, like an accused party is still looped in to
Oh,
know that they're
absolutely.
being accused. So
Absolutely.
even if a student does file a grievance against their person, like, that doesn't necessarily mean that their person is not gonna like retaliate, you know, like it's, but like if you're accusing someone of grievance, they have a right to know.
So it just all needs to come to the table.
Yeah.
Worked out.
Lay it all out.
It's what we're trying to teach these children. And ourselves.
Okay, so then perhaps instead of, so then should we approve with that amendment, or should I make that amendment and make sure we're all comfortable with it and approve it then?
I think approving it with the amendment feels
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. We've hashed it out.
Okay. Well then I would motion to approve the grievance policy with the amendments to the grievance form clarifying where the forms are sent to.
I would second that. In favor? That's okay.
Alright, so
I will share. Okay, a second look with the aim to approve the 2026-2027 budget.
That's me.
Woo-hoo!
We have a budget.
We have a budget.
Pass out paper.
Very exciting.
One for
Yay,
you.
thank
Thank you, budgeters, for making this happen.
Just gonna sit down.
Yes, yes.
So, we've been meeting, we've had, that I've been, involved with 3 finance meetings. And I think there was maybe one before I joined, right?
I think so.
Just to have oversight on this budget, and there's, Kenny Hauk, Sally, myself, Dawn, who's our bookkeeper, and then
Dawn
Carol,
Worley
is
Carla.
that last name? Carla,
Carla Geller?
I did not get Carla.
I think that's her last name.
So,
Yes, very nice.
lovely humans that are very intelligent and know what's going on, just to like oversee, look at Ryan's hard work here and make sure everything's all up board. And it's looking great. Ryan got a lot of compliments at our last meeting about what a beautiful budget and a beautiful job he does.
He does such a good job.
He does. We're really, really lucky. We're very fortunate to have someone that's so talented with numbers and keeping all the moving parts. I told you I was gonna flatter you a bunch, but I'm really impressed. I'm not a budget person, so to see
You
all
are
of
now.
this. Just all the little parts, and the one, so I guess we're just want approval on this. There's a couple things, I don't know this as well as Ryan does, but what was exciting was the increase in, let's see what that, increase in wages for the teacher leaders next year.
So the increase in there.
Yeah, I think we all
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
about
yeah,
that
yes,
too.
yes.
This isn't like brand new news, right? Page, thank you, Sally. Page 4. Oh, so first. Here we go. Yeah, so the teachers will be at 90% of what Three Rivers.
We're getting closer, guys.
Yeah.
We're getting closer.
For the it'll be 4th year teachers.
Couple of us, yeah. 3 of us.
Yes. So I mean, that's not perfect in a perfect world.
But we're working towards our goal, and
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
We're getting closer.
he's staying within the budget.
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was gonna be a process, but the process is happening, which is something to be happy about.
And this is based on, what number of enrollment, at full enrollment or?
Ryan,
This is estimated at 63,
Okay,
Okay,
so we're not there yet. We would need
Yeah, where does it see that? I'm sorry. This would be,
estimated ADM at the top.
oh, I see it,
and so right now, for sure, we've got 53 kids. So
yeah, so we need 10 to make.
we're looking at 10 freshmen.
That'd be great.
yeah, so, one question, no, please, you. Well, I don't know this, but do you know if the freshmen that, I guess it would be 8th grade, is that a low enrollment year? Does anyone know?
8th grade?
Yeah, because they're gonna come in tonight. Do you know at all if?
Like here in the valley, if it's a low number,
Yes, because I know in the teaching week, there was a big low,
right?
and that's why they joined the 5th grade into Orderburn.
Mhm.
It was high and then
What I do know is that students who have already gotten used to being in the traditional setting have made friend groups that they aren't so keen to separate from, to come to our alternative school regardless of like the positive things they hear about us, because the connections that they have with their friends are just so important to them, which like makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's necessarily low enrollment so much as just like trying to stay with their friends.
Well, that's important for that age.
Yeah, totally.
I might ask some of my teacher friends at Orderburn just to ask.
Yeah, that would be interesting to know.
I have a thought also, my daughter goes to Woodland Charter in Murphy, and their format is very, very, very close to like how we like to do things. So it might make sense for like maybe a board member to reach out and see if we can't build a more like tight relationship with them so that their
So
students
parents know that we're here.
exactly, and maybe even when they do, because Mary Logan, my kids go there, like we could maybe show up at one of their events
Yeah,
and like, you know, I'm always
it's
there.
actually very good, yeah.
I'm always there in the capacity of a parent, so like I never have the urge while I'm doing things at Luna School to like be in. I help run Kalmiopsis mode, but it would probably be a great idea maybe for like the board to reach out and be like, hey, have you thought about having
Yeah, because that is, you know, what between us and Grants Pass, so you're looking at families that are, you know, kind of on this side.
and people travel to Woodland because their kids love it, and we have students from Grants Pass because their kids love here. And I know that there are lots of families who like live closer to Woodland who are just planning on doing the transition to Hidden Valley because they're literally right next door to each other. But it's totally worth looking into from the perspective of like, hey,
Yeah.
same kind of school.
Suggestion, I heard some of you mention tabling somewhere, was that in Grants Pass or where?
Farmers market here.
Some people going to, I thought,
options in education, which
So-
KC has tabled
so
has.
my suggestion would be to send an invitation to the school, to Woodland Charter, to come meet you
Oh,
at
that's a
Options
good
for
idea.
Education.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Maybe a little flyer that
Yeah.
says, hey, we'd love to meet you and
Yeah.
come learn about our school. We'll be closer, maybe
That's
closer to
great.
some of you.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, Ryan.
Back to the budget. Sorry, I asked a tangential question. Well, no surprise.
Okay. Next is beautiful budget.
So you guys just approve it?
I mean, I do like feel like that our total revenue is budgeted about 20,000 more than our output is budgeted at. I feel like that means nice sort of cushion. I would motion to approve our 2026, 2027 budget.
I would second that. I think you guys did such a great job on this.
Okay,
I know, a lot of- so, all in favor? All right,
yeah.
good job, you guys.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Beautiful budget.
Thanks, everybody.
Beautiful budget.
That's
That's a big, beautiful budget. Nope.
Not safe.
Not safe.
Okay,
It's very board presidential.
we've got our next meeting, which is in this month, which is our annual meeting. I'm gonna let Mindy talk about the presentations. I will bring a snack. If anybody else wants to bring a snack, I think snacks are nice at that meeting.
Oh, snacks to share.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because it's a little.
To share.
Longer
No,
to share.
she's just gonna bring some nuts for
My snacks and look at you guys. I'm gonna bring something to share if anybody else would like to. I think that's a nice thing. We did that last year. It was really nice.
And so it's like it goes a little longer because we got more.
Yeah, it's,
And this is
you
when
know.
we're inviting new potential new board
If anybody has somebody they'd like to consider,
Yeah,
that they'd like to nominate to the board,
Yeah.
that's when we'll do board elections. We'll vote as a board, to take on new members. We'll also, if anybody wants to throw their hat in the ring to take a chair position, if somebody wanted to be our new treasurer.
I could encourage another staff rep.
Yeah.
On it.
it's
Yeah.
that meeting.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
like, yes.
we can definitely, we have room for some more board members. If you guys have somebody in mind that you think could bring something to this.
Especially if they have financial experience
Yes.
or grant writing experience,
Yes.
would be really huge additions for us.
Or a lawyer even.
Or a lawyer.
Wow,
Really?
that'd be amazing.
mean,
I know, yeah.
I thought about Daniel, but honestly, he's not gonna be able to make it every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He has financial experience,
and then, in terms of the presentations, Ryan, can I ask your assistance, do you happen to have an old, here, I bet I can find it.
I can pull up,
I was just thinking about like some of our previous, like presentation topics. I think we've kind of done like board experience, board goals for the next year, like that kind of thing. And so, I feel like I wasn't sure what to do with my presentation time or what I was supposed to say. And so I thought that what might be fun, and if this is not a way that we're allowed to do the annual meeting, please let me know, but I thought it'd be fun and kind of like really in the spirit of our school, if instead of like breaking it up so that Sally presents about this and Terry presents about this and I present about this, that I could come up with a list of, I could create a list of things that we've presented on in the past, and we could do a circle share, which is like something that we do a lot in our classes, in our mediation circles, and so I felt like it would maybe take the pressure off, and then each one of us could go around and share like a highlight of our board experience, a board goal for the next year, a fundraising idea for the next year, like that kind of thing, so that nobody has to feel like they gotta come up with enough of something to talk about for 5 minutes, but we could just
And you
kind of.
could send us a list of prompts so we know kind of
Yeah.
about what we'd like to say.
That sounds
great, like a nice,
like
like a nice way. Yeah.
That might be kind of fun.
I would enjoy that, I think. How do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah, does that sound good? Sure. All right, well,
That's helpful.
And so,
very.
I'll look at the old annual meeting agendas and pull some of those topics, and send you Like, I'll try and get it done like within the next 24 hours or something like that, so that we can let it roll around in our heads for the next few weeks before our meeting.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
Thank you for doing that.
And then, do we need the motion to approve how we're doing our annual
I don't
presentation?
think so. I think
Okay.
we can just come to it. It's our meeting.
Cool.
Great.
Cool. Look at us go.
Okay. I do wanna say that at the annual meeting, we do need to talk about, because the board is supposed to do a yearly review for the teacher leaders.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that's something that we do need to talk about and make a plan for at the annual meeting.
Okay.
So that's a subject that I would
Okay.
like us
We
to make a
did,
plan at that meeting.
We did briefly discuss that at our last
We
TLO
did.
meeting. I think at our last teacher leader meeting, and I think the teacher leaders said that June or August, let me see, do we remember what we said? Let me pull up our agenda. When so this is what our board asked what time of year would be best for you guys to conduct an annual review. And the answer we wrote down is when our contract is renewed, we'll get general feedback from the board at the end of the year using the high school success rubric, and then we'll discuss development of our evaluation process with the board. June 8th, 9th, 10th. The request was after our school year,
Sure.
like if you guys could do it June 8th, 9th, 10th, but at least one teacher leader said, could it be of all of us together? Like you guys sit down with us as a team.
Board?
Yeah, as a
We
team
can try.
and evaluate
It's
us
our
as
world.
a team.
Yeah.
So
It's our world, so.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be two different subjects? Is like individually, and then as a team, how you guys work together, so, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Two separate.
Well, I guess
Or do we do breakaways?
that's the thing, I guess that's the thing to talk about, how we wanna break up the
Do a
review
maxi
process.
party, click, clap,
We
boo
don't
down.
actually have a plan, we haven't done this yet. So that's the thing to kind of talk about. Like, what is this review process gonna look like for us?
With the recommendations of the staff.
Yeah.
And it would just really be teacher leaders.
Yeah, that's, because the teacher leaders do all of the other teachers.
Oh.
And then we're responsible.
We're their boss, they're my boss.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Are we kind of, I guess we have to decide, like, what are we grading the teachers on?
That's right.
You know, what
We haven't done this
we have
before,
all these
So
levels.
then can I suggest that maybe that's not a thing for our annual meeting?
That sounds like a special.
Do we have a to do it before the end of the school year?
another suggestion.
We'd have one at the beginning of June, and if we weren't gonna do it, and so we've got one June first.
Okay.
And so we could like figure out how we
Figure it out.
do that and then plan it for like maybe the middle of June. And let like the semester end and like
This
some
is
like.
when the teacher leaders
wow.
wanted, so we would have to just make our plan.
Okay.
For
And one possibility is to just have an ad hoc committee.
Okay.
You know, a few of you maybe meet with one or two teacher leaders and kind of talk about, figure out the process. And I
Okay.
know Casey has some strong opinions, so
Yeah.
maybe she'd be one, you got some of you we could meet with to basically, okay, what's this process gonna look like? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe before starting the process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have an idea too, we have a teacher here who's probably been through those, like, to
With
get
the
her
district.
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that we're trying to talk about what they're doing, but.
So I'm down to get together
Oh, that would
and
be.
talk about that.
Yeah,
Are we-
especially.
I
do
feel
self-assessment
like,
also?
I feel like because it is my boss's, I do not feel like I should be part of the decision making on how my boss is gonna be.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah.
fair. Well, Amanda and I and Sally and Kelly, okay, good to know. Terry, you're
So
welcome to join
in-
us if you want.
We'd be happy to self-assess.
Just in the past,
Yes,
sometimes, so to just see what's going on, would we then have to attend one of your classes to?
Yeah, how does that?
Oh, like teacher observation?
Or-
I'm also wondering, are you evaluating us as teachers or as
Yeah.
staff?
What are we?
So all the stuff to figure out, and so I think maybe you know, a few of you and maybe one or two teacher leaders
As long as it's not a
kind of
random.
work it out.
Can we meet like, can we meet like at Pappy's or something?
Yeah, we can meet anywhere.
We should be asking this.
I see you said it.
Well,
Okay,
and
so
we do, maybe we could, should we bring our student surveys to the board as part of that review process?
Oh,
Because like we all
that's a great idea.
did a survey at the semester with our students and asked them,
Yeah.
the same questions.
Right.
in our classes, and so maybe that would be a way.
That
to
would be
see
very
the-
helpful.
And Sarah, what is that?
That's a really good idea to have
Course evaluations,
Yeah,
students
I
evaluate
like
the
that.
teachers of the semester.
And we should also talk to the kids.
Yeah, as you were saying, the students.
Yeah, our student
student
board
rep.
members.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we need our students.
Oh, right, that's such a cool, that's really cool.
At least for the conversation, if not for the actual
Review.
review.
Yeah,
You know.
we don't have to.
The students should have a
We
say.
can do that.
You can still get a beer there.
Especially if I was there, they'll be honest.
Okay.
Not that they wouldn't be honest, but they're actually drinking.
Oh, I do.
Here's the thing.
Okay, so that's the annual meeting presentation, talk, does anybody have anything else to add?
Should we pick a date that,
Let's,
what are we calling this?
let's pick a date for this after the annual meeting.
Because we also have that June 1st meeting too.
Yeah, we have a little bit of time to get that in. Southern Oregon Guild grant update.
Oh, yeah, it's the grant for the
Oh, yeah.
vending machine. We
Oh,
got
yeah.
awarded a small grant,
Right.
$1,500. And we're gonna make Mark. I
That's
just
so cool.
emailed Mark back and let him know that I have free time this week to meet with him.
That's really generous of you on conference week.
Well, right, I don't have free time to meet with him this week. Dang it! I do tomorrow. Only tomorrow.
Well.
Thanks for reminding me of that, Mindy. I can only wear one hat at a
You're
time.
welcome, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So the two thoughts were Taylor's or the Guild.
And that's something that Taryn, myself, Mark, and Caitlin from the Guild met several months ago. And we started working out a lot of the different details. And I did approach Taylor's, and they are open to it.
I just think that's a
we do
great
think that
spot for it.
as long as everything's still moving forward, if we can figure out the machine and make it all work, then I think that's the goal. But we may have an unveiling party at the Guild.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, here's our machine, and have people out and drinks and snacks. And maybe Terry playing the guitar. We'll see.
Or the student. Literally.
I mentioned that because very many Guild
right.
asked Terry plays guitar.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
I can't get the students to agree to play guitar for people anyways.
They get shy.
Wish I could.
Okay, I think that's such a cool grant. So new business, we are to new business. Proposed personnel policy changes.
oh, that's neat.
Okay.
Hi,
Alright.
Brent. So we, as part of our last meeting, we kind of worked out how we wanted to address some changes to our personnel policies. I then made the changes. I don't think I have enough for everyone. Maybe you could share, maybe, here's an extra one. Somebody wants an extra one. And so basically, this is the personnel policies that we adopted in 2024, that Kayla and I worked on. And then last week we met, and these are incorporating any changes. And most of you were there at this meeting, so you know what the changes are. We talked in depth about it. This is
the same document that you shared.
and I shared this out on email last week. So everyone should have had the opportunity to review. But it is really just incorporating those changes that we discussed. And one I did not include, we did discuss a sick bank policy, similar to what Three Rivers does. And I did look into several of those, and they are detailed. Most schools that do that have pages of policy, and the process is like, okay, what's the process for when it gets taken from some people, and what's the process for how it gets applied, and sometimes there's a committee that has to make these decisions. And so I did feel that that was a bit more than what I wanted to get involved in for this. I think, taking that out makes this a quick change. Here's all the things we discussed. Adding that idea could be in hours of developing the policy and finding who's going to institute it, who's going to receive the requests, who's going to make decisions on whether it counts, how many hours can you edit, all this information. So basically, I did not include that. Another, yes.
So could that be something that, a summer discussion when school's not?
Absolutely. I just didn't have the capacity at the moment, so I.
Well, there were too many, I agree, because I sent you an email on, I never thought. So it's all upset.
Any questions on this?
No, I thought you did a great job.
I have no questions.
I motion to approve the revisions to our personnel policy.
I second.
All in favor?
All right.
Oh,
Thanks, Ryan.
oh, and by the way, on page 2, there's under 1.2 performance evaluation.
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
There's a whole
There's a little blurb for us.
blurb to look at.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we've got a structure to form our policy.
Great, so we can talk about that pizza down. Well,
Okay, well, I can host you guys up at my house too in the yard.
No, personnel policy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I'm
So,
am I ever gonna look at it again? Probably.
so then, reminder about the Benwood Foundation review deadline.
Karen, there? Can I give you?
I think it's shared already.
Yeah, and I'll print you a
Docs.
new one.
I mean, thank
Oh,
you.
you would be more clear than that. Cause I'll forward it. I'm like, I need that. I thought you were doing the.
No.
I was like, no, I will do it.
I'll give you a hard copy.
Yeah, thank you.
Who has a reminder about the Benwood Foundation?
I have a reminder about the Benwood Foundation, scholarship. I believe that Sally, Amanda, and I were the ones that were on that page. Did you both get the emails from Gabrielle with the links?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, have either of you gone through?
That's all, it took me, on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday this week to work on that.
Okay,
I have a reminder in my calendar tomorrow.
okay, great,
Is that okay?
because this, yeah, absolutely, the 17th is the deadline to have those done. If either of you has any questions as you move through it, feel free to contact me. I already completed my scoring so that I could kind of troubleshoot for us.
Thank you.
And so the one thing that I would like each of you to know, is there's 2 applications, right? There's one for our regular and one for our trade.
Yes.
On the regular application, you get down and it gives you kind of a rubric to use in terms of like, it's between this score and this score, if they have this many of this kind of classes or whatever the case may be. On the regular one, there's one section that doesn't really tell you anything. It just says scholarship specific criteria. And then that's what it kind of says in parentheses. And so I checked with Sarah, and our scholarship specific criteria is showing leadership and putting community before self.
And what they have done and what they're planning to do. Yeah.
And so there's no specific place that you're gonna look for that necessarily either. You're gonna kind of assess that from classes that they list and that says.
Oh, class.
But that's what that's the only one that's not explicitly clear about what you're grading.
So the criteria is leadership.
Leadership,
For community.
putting community before self.
Mm.
And so if either of you have any problems or questions as you move through it, let me know.
Thank you.
That's all.
And sometimes,
Thanks for doing that, you guys.
well, and then I wasn't sure if you wanted to, were we supposed to meet, Sarah? I wasn't sure about
That's
that.
up to you, and one of the emails I sent to the whole group, I said you might decide that you want to meet as a group to like do a final selection of your two, or if it's really clear from your ratings, maybe that's not necessary, maybe it's just a matter of an email clarification or something, where you send, have someone send the names to us.
Okay.
Okay,
I
Was
don't
it,
know how much you'll need to deliberate.
Okay.
It's up to you, it's optional.
and I'll get back on and look through again, because I don't see anywhere where we do anything other than score.
Yeah.
I don't know that we got to
choose?
to choose beyond that score, so I'll look back in and see whether or not that's a thing.
Alright, well, we already talked about the cleaning position. So, we have our annual board meeting at 4:30 on Monday, April 27th. Like I said, I'll bring something to share if anybody else feels that fun. And
Do we wanna read through this real quick,
oh,
or do we wanna get out of here?
I remembered one more staff update thing, I'm so sorry. We posted the proposal form for next year's classes.
Oh, yeah.
So that is posted on our Facebook and shared, so if you know anybody with some kind of expertise or a special interest that they wanna teach a semester class, direct them to our Facebook and the website's probably posted on the website too, it's live, for class proposals. So that's also another thing.
what day is graduation?
June.
June
Fine.
5th.
Okay,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I know we decided where that's gonna be yet.
Russ Grant?
Pretty sure Russ Ranch. I don't know if they confirmed the location at Russ Ranch, but the plan, I believe, is Russ Ranch.
Okay, super cool, I think that's great.
We should raise some butterflies to release.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
it'd be so nice.
Patty is like super anti-release butterflies.
I don't know if we want to consider, and then we also have another meeting in June.
I'm just-
So just wanna make sure we will know our meetings, and we're gonna read this volunteer policies before we go.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Yay.
I only printed a few copies because I figured I was gonna read it out loud. So Kayla put this together for us. I'll go section by section, and if there's anything that anybody feels needs changing, I'll note it and change.
Okay.
Policy 5.1, volunteer program overview. KCA welcomes volunteers to participate in our program. The school has needs that can be met through volunteer service, and it sets a good example for our students to inspire volunteerism in their own lives. It is KCA's goal to play to volunteers' strengths and engage them in meaningful work to help the school thrive year after year. A volunteer at KCA is an individual who receives no direct compensation for services. All individual volunteers will be assigned to a particular teacher leader based on their expertise and areas of volunteering, but all staff may offer guidance, assistance, and support as is respectful, as appropriate and warranted. Volunteers and staff are expected to work together in a manner that is respectful, patient, and appreciative of each other. Volunteers are held to similar standards of conduct and procedures as employees, including mandatory reporting of known or suspected child abuse. Please refer to the staff code of conduct and personnel policies for more information on topics including mandatory reporting, harassment, grievances, and dress code. That seems pretty.
I like there's a clause, I like that there's a clause about being appreciative.
I think that's the root. Does anybody see anything they feel like needs changing there? Great.
It's
Um,
direct.
5.2, non-discrimination, I can have a feeling this is gonna be fairly standard. KCA does not discriminate in any programs or activities on any basis protected by law, including but not limited to, this is one of my favorite things to do. An individual's actual or perceived race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, national or ethnic origin, mental, marital status, age, mental or physical disability, pregnancy, familial status, or veteran status, or because of perceived or actual association with any other person within these protected classes.
Yes.
I'm gonna really get motivated
Nice intro.
eventually. Policy 5.3, volunteer selection. Volunteers are selected based on their qualifications in relation to the needs of the school at any given time. Volunteers must go through KCA's procedure for approval and placement as follows. A prospective volunteer presents their areas of expertise, interest, and availability to a teacher, leader, or the office manager. If KCA staff perceive a school need that would be well met by a prospective volunteer, staff will ask them to complete a background check. Upon satisfactory completion of the background check, KCA will present the volunteer with a list of potential tasks and a schedule. If accepted, the volunteer provides KCA with emergency contact information and begins their volunteering at an agreed upon time. All volunteer information will be kept confidential and protected for the minimum amount of time required by law and then responsibly disposed of. Sensitive information may be requested for periodic background check updates. I think that all seems straightforward. Any questions, any changes?
No, it sounds good.
Fantastic. 5.4, volunteer code of conduct. Volunteers are expected to exhibit the following professional behavior. Be familiar with and promote KCA's mission, vision, and values. Treat students with dignity and kindness. The teen years are some of the toughest, and empathy is a guiding principle for all our adults in the building. Properly use and care for all school properties, equipment, and materials. Avoid situations in which personal interests might be served or financial benefits gained at the expense of the school or students. Practice cost consciousness in the discharge of duties and recommend work procedures which might result in cost savings. And always report to suspected or known child abuse to staff. For more conduct particulars, please refer to the staff code of conduct. I like that she keeps putting that in there.
Yeah.
I like callbacks.
Yeah.
That all seems reasonable.
Yes.
Attendance, there are no minimum service hours required for volunteer positions. However, volunteers who are sick or otherwise unable to volunteer for planned hours are asked, as they are able, to let their teacher, leader, or the office manager know in a timely manner. Volunteers are also asked to log records of their time and attendance. Hours logged will help the school with applying for grants and other similar purposes. That's really nice. I like that clarification.
Yeah.
And I think, of course, you should try and let us know if you're not gonna be some.
And a timely manner.
Yes.
That's crucial.
Anybody, anything?
No.
Nope, moving on. Training, KCA volunteers will receive training as necessary from their teacher leader. However, it is in the school's best interest if volunteers can be self-starters with a minimum of guidance. That seems fair.
Yeah.
I guess, I should maybe do have one question about that.
Okay.
Is there any intent to, we're not intending to train our volunteers like under any kind of emergency drill procedures?
Oh, well, I mean, if somebody's in the building,
Like, they're not gonna come to an active shooter.
They're not gonna be here unattended without people to come through that. No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
they're not subbing.
They're not subbing, they're
Great.
not.
They're not the only adult on
responsible
the
party, yeah.
I didn't think so, just wanted to know.
No, that's a good, really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Okay, 5.7, personal electronic devices. In accordance with Oregon State Executive Order number 25-09, personal electronic devices, including but not limited to phones, personal tablets, smartwatches, etc., must be off and away from the first bell to the last bell of the day, including during breaks and lunch, with limited exceptions. Staff and volunteers are asked to follow this law as closely as possible in order to model appropriate behavior for students. General safety responsibilities. KCA endeavors to provide a safe environment for students, staff, and volunteers. Volunteers are responsible for helping to prevent and eliminate conditions that could be harmful to themselves or others. Volunteers shall, 1, work carefully and comply with safety policies, report unsafe conditions to staff, report all accidents to staff, no matter how minor, alert staff immediately if there is an emergency. If the building needs to be evacuated, volunteers must move quickly and calmly to the nearest exit. That seems straightforward. 5.9, workers' compensation coverage in accordance with ORS 656-031, which requires coverage for municipal volunteer personnel. All active volunteers will be covered by KCA's workers' compensation insurance coverage during hours spent volunteering at the school. Based on ORS, I'm guessing that we can't change it.
So then, with that, do they have to be logged in? Like, I'm here volunteering, do they have?
Sign in at the.
Yeah, do you
Yeah.
have to sign in
To be able to prove that you were actually here.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, sign in, sign out procedure.
I think that would kind of cover us
Yeah.
more
And then-
legally.
So then
Right.
perhaps that's something I could add to the attendance, is asked to log their records of time and attendance. Hours logged will help the school applying for grants and other similar purposes. Additionally, will protect the volunteer in cases of
Yes.
injury on.
Yeah.
And I make visitor badges with our button maker, I'll make some volunteer buttons.
Yeah. But I think that legally, it would behoove us to have them signed in,
Yes.
a time in and a time out.
And then when they do that, they can also on the side put how many hours that they were here.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
you don't
It's
have
just
to
part
come
of
back
Yeah.
to say how many hours did you complete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, last part, resignation. Volunteering with KCA is at will, which means volunteers are free to stop service at any time with or without causes or notice. If a volunteer decides to end their volunteer experience with KCA, they are asked to give their teacher leader or office manager advance notice, if possible, in order to give staff time to find coverage. When possible, the office manager will conduct an exit interview to measure a party volunteer satisfaction with their experience at KCA. The school may, upon request, provide letters of reference for them. I think that all sounds super straightforward.
One other thing, I don't know if this applies to this, but as a volunteer, what is it? It's a nonprofit, can't go out and talk about.
Oh, there's FERPA, actually, I'm so glad you brought that up. FERPA, they're gonna have to be talked to about FERPA student rights to confidentiality. They're not to like go out of the school and be like, this kid named so-and-so did this very thing today.
Or they, from this back.
There does, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we probably, yes. Or I work with so-and-so kid,
Right.
like
Yeah.
that's actually, there probably is gonna need to be some kind of training.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, and then somebody sent me this recently.
Great.
And it says, in accordance with the nonprofit obligation expected, a board, directors, or duty of care, which is a volunteer, and loyalty you verify or confirm that you will not share or divulge any of the pictorial organization information or students or something. That's way too much, but verbiage, but like you were saying, yeah.
Yeah, I do think that is gonna be.
So then,
And it might even be a waiver that they have to sign as volunteer, possibly. I'm just putting.
Yeah, that's a
I think
good
that's
point.
a good
Yeah.
Could somebody maybe reach out to Lorna Byrne or Evergreen and just say, hey, do you have a form for volunteers? And actually, maybe it's on the website.
I bet,
You might not need to
my
reach out to
guess,
anyone.
yeah, my guess is that volunteer at Evergreen is different than Lorna Byrne. Did you say so, sir? Maybe not,
because the training is what each.
for volunteer, yeah.
Yeah, that probably is true, because when you fill out the volunteer form on the, wherever because I filled it out before, I'd ask you what school.
And I filled that volunteer form at Evergreen. It's very, very simple, and you just have to have recommendations and background check, maybe fingerprints,
Not even letters of recommendations, like references.
references, yeah,
I don't think fingerprints.
right.
Oh, they even have a volunteer handbook. Okay, Mindy, I'm just gonna send you the link
Perfect.
to this part of the website.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So then let's not
vote on this.
Yeah, but which I was only trying to do an initial read anyway.
Yeah.
So
That's
let's
great.
read this. It's a great start. I'm excited to see their volunteer handbook.
We could revisit this at the annual and try to get it done then.
Who did this? Kayla, our office manager.
Oh, she did a great job.
Yeah, she did.
Give her kudos.
She
It's
so
because I
great.
gave her a raise.
She is so
Oh, I'm
great.
sure that's what.
Okay, so
Okay.
we will readdress that then. at
We have an
annual.
application.
Okay. And I think that really is.
I think you should.
I think so.
Well, I appreciate all of you guys doing what you're doing, especially the staff that's here.
Thank you, Patty.
Just the commitment to kids.
Interesting, cool. That page will be neat. They have the whole application, you can pull.
Great.
That says.
You know, and it might behoove us too to just cut when somebody is here volunteering regularly to touch on active shooters,
Yeah.
exits, fire safety.
Yeah.
I mean, just anybody that's spending very much time in the school probably
And we have
should be
to,
abreast of all that stuff anyway.
there's like a couple of pages in the student handbook, it's like the safe schools, lockdown procedure pages, and that could be a part of the handout that we
Yeah,
can
it
any
could
adult.
be, I think that there's a lot of parts of the staff code of conduct that we've already approved that I could pretty easily
Just
kind
put together a
of
little.
or copy and paste from, and kind of cover some of the major topics. So
And I'm sure
I'll
the
start there and
volunteer-
I'll look at what Word has and get with.
Well, and it's not even a Lorna Burton specific volunteer handbook,
Okay.
it's a Three Rivers School
Great.
District
Okay.
volunteer handbook. Yeah. Cool.
What's your name?
Thank you. Should we adjourn?
Let's adjourn.
We are.
We are adjourned.
I think it's on.
I will see you on April 27th. 4:30 p.m.
With snacks.
Snacks. Thanks, everybody.